What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of all our new videos, new content as and when it drops. So without further ado, of course, leave your comments below. And let's talk about a bit of heavyweight boxing news. So Dillian Whyte was recently interviewed by Sky Sports on I believe it was on the Sky Sports News YouTube channel. They're keeping things fresh, and Dillian Whyte, obviously, he admitted in that interview he's in a bit of a state of frustration because obviously he was meant to compete, he was meant to rematch Alexander Povetkin, and it's been postponed about twice now. I think originally would have taken place, I think it was December 21st of last year, 2020, and he was trying to get the rematch then there was a new date sometime, I think it would have been, I don't know, this year, like maybe this month, even January or Feb or something. But basically Alexander Povetkin has said, well, he's only got something like 25% on his lungs. He's still got health issues from the COVID-19 pandemic. So basically Povetkin is not ready, and he's not going to be ready for quite some time. And Dillian Whyte, being the Dillian Whyte we all know, basically has said, well, this man's taking too long, man. It might take too long, and it might delay and mash up the thing. So Dillian just been saying that the man's just taking too long. He doesn't know whether Povetkin's excuses are genuine about the COVID thing. And Dillian has said that, look, I want to fight someone else in the interim. This guy's wasting time. This guy's wasting my time, wasting my money. This guy's basically stalling his career. That's the way Dillian sort of feels about it. And I can sympathize with that because he said, look, I just want to fight. I don't want the politics. I don't want this. I don't want that. I just want to fight. I want the smoke, and that's how he always is, Dillian Whyte. He's always about, I just want to smoke. I don't want to mess about. I don't want to wait around for some guy for months and months and months. Whereas other fighters nowadays, they'll follow the Floyd Mayweather formula of, look, waiting around, just fighting minimal times per year. But they forget a lot of the times that Floyd Mayweather had made it by the time he was just fighting twice a year or once a year or whatever. He'd made it already. So, but a lot of these guys are willing to just wait and sit down and wait for that big fight to happen. But Dillian Whyte is definitely a fighting man through and through, and he just said, look, I'm not gonna wait around for this guy. He said, I want someone else. And somebody, I think they threw Deontay Wilder's name at him, and he said, yeah, I would love to smash up Deontay Wilder fierce. I would love to smash him up. I would love to mash him up. And he was talking very spicy about Wilder, that he would love to beat him up and smash him up and all this business. And that's not surprising because, to be honest, he'd been calling Wilder out for, you could say, years now. I remember when Wilder was the WBC champion, and I think it was even prior to Wilder fighting Tyson Fury, that Dillian Whyte was calling him out and offering him out, saying he wants to fight, blah blah blah. So the Whyte has wanted a Wilder fight for a long time, and Wilder has even entertained made a joke of it, but somewhat entertained the Dillian Whyte thing. So Dillian Whyte said, yep, I'm willing to do that. I'd love to smash him up now, blah blah blah. But he said realistically, the fight that he's looking at is he's sending his team to negotiate for Louis Ortiz. He's saying he wants to fight Louis Ortiz next, and then after Louis Ortiz, he can then, hopefully, Povetkin will be ready. And he was saying, I'm going to give Povetkin time. Let me fight Louis Ortiz, and then I'll go and get my win back and get my status back off of Povetkin. So it'll be interesting to hear you guys' thoughts on that fight, Whyte versus Ortiz. I think it would be an interesting fight. I reckon it'll be interesting because Ortiz he's an old boy as well. I think he's got to be at least 40 or 40 odd or something like that. We don't know the official age of this guy, but he's got to be at least that. So he's the same sort of age bracket as Povetkin, and Povetkin just showed you that age ain't nothing but a number. You know, he showed he was getting beaten by Whyte, but he showed he can just pull a shot out of the bag. Louis Ortiz, I think, would be a very, very, very good test for Dillian Whyte. He seems to still have a little bit left. I saw him box. It would have been probably December of last year, and he boxed a guy, but the guy he boxed was just a pudding. He was just a tomato can, as they call him in America. He was just a pie. And Louis Ortiz just went in there and just bashed him up. Really, it didn't really give us any big information about him or tell us anything new apart from he'll bash up a tomato can or whatever we call him. So anyway, Whyte said, right, he's trying to get Louis Ortiz in the ring, and then after Ortiz, then he can go back to business of getting on with my guy Alexander Povetkin. So that, I think, Whyte versus Ortiz would be an interesting fight at this point. It'll be interesting to sort of see what Mr. Ortiz has got left after the sort of Wilder losses and stuff. I think no matter, he is an old guy, but I think he will definitely provide a good solid test for Dillian Whyte. And he could even be, for me, I think he could even be a potential banana skin for Dillian Whyte, just based on the fact that he's a southpaw. He's quite slick, he's quite slippery, he does the basics very, very well, and he uses his southpaw advantage very, very well, the southpaw jab and everything. And I think the only thing he hasn't got going for him, Ortiz, is he hasn't got the age going for him, as I've said, but he's not really the fastest of guys. So you might, someone like Whyte, being that little bit younger, bit fresher in the game, he'll probably be able to figure Ortiz out, and I reckon he could, at best, if he's on his game, he could beat someone like Ortiz on points, or if he catches Ortiz with a big shot, he might be able to get the job done inside the distance. But I reckon he could make Ortiz work and make a difficult fight for the old man, and he could, I reckon he could probably beat him on points, but it would be a hard fought points decision, because I think Ortiz has still got a bit left. He's still got strength left. He's still a decent fighter, and I think it would be it would be another tough fight. It would, as I say, it would be a banana skin fight, because Ortiz, he's no mug. He's still one of the top sort of upper echelon heavyweights. He's not the top of the top, but he is close enough. He's at least on the fringes, so he'd be a tough challenge for Dillian Whyte. But again, it would if he could beat Ortiz and beat him in style, it would be a good scalp. It would say something about Dillian Whyte. It would sort of announce him back on the upper echelon of boxing if he can beat someone like that, because Ortiz is actually good. So again, we'll see what happens. That's just a bit of the latest thing from Sky, from what Whyte's been saying in interviews, and apparently there might be some negotiation going on. So it's one of those fights that only time will tell. We'll come to find out in whenever, because there ain't no boxing this month in England anyway. But yeah, it's one of those where we'll come to find out within the sort of coming months. I'm pretty sure of that. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Dillian Whyte versus Louis Ortiz. Is it a fight that Dillian Whyte wins? Do you think he could lose? Is Ortiz a potential banana skin? Let us know what you think in the comment section. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.